was Let's Play Voice. In the Impact Amplifier, I basically created a program that takes you through a foundational experience of how to stretch your range of expression. And that's something that most people don't get to talk about much. We just assume because you have a voice that you know how to use it. We assume that because you have a body, you know how to use it. And we assume because you're brilliant at what you do, that you know how to communicate it when lots of people are watching and you are under pressure of the limelight. But anyone who's ever tried that in real knows that it doesn't quite work that way, right? Often when you get nervous, your voice fails on you, or you go into some really weird patterns with your body, with anything really. I call that PID, performance induced identity dissonance. That's when you get a bit weird on stage. Anybody ever experienced that one? Yeah. Yeah, me too, big time. And I had a really beautiful acting teacher in New York City where I trained. And she said, when I interviewed her about what talent is, she defined talent as the ability to be yourself when others are watching. The ability to truly be yourself when others are watching. Oh, I took a deep breath and I thought, dang, I wish I had this. I want this talent thing. Now, where I disagree with her is that this is not talent. Talent is often something that we think is given, that you bring to the table. But what she described was a skill, was a willingness, was a courage, and it's a nobleness. It's a nobleness that I like to cultivate for myself and with and for my client. The ability to really be real when you're in front of other people is not something that's given, it is something that is learned, but it is not learned in a step-by-step blueprint. Here's my 10 steps to getting really real and authentic. It's not like that. It's an undoing. It's an unmasking. And what that requires of us is a willingness to go deep and deal with anything that comes up on the way to this authenticity, which is a freedom. The courage and the freedom to truly say what's on your mind and heart in the moment is an undoing. It's a connecting to essence. It's connecting to soul. And it's a skill, it's a craft to learn how to speak, how to enunciate, how to use your voice as an instrument, but also a willingness to open up and let yourself be used as an instrument, become a vessel of the message. I call this vesseling as an active verb by now. So I like people to vessel more. Talk less, vessel more. Less blabber, more vesseling. So it's not talent, but it's a skill. The art of getting really real or fucking real, as some of us would use with professional terms. And that's what we're playing here with. So the Impact Amplifier is a 1 week foundational experience of stretching your ability to do that through your body, through your voice, through playing, through taking beliefs apart. Yes, there is coaching and deep seat and hot seat coaching, all that good stuff we know from the personal development world. And by now, I really want to go beyond this coaching stuff because I don't know if you noticed, but there's an awful lot of talking in coaching and I'm getting frustrated. I need more energy. I need more. Let's be. Let's transmit energy. Let's generate some vibes here. Let's not just go, oh my God, I've got this amazing insight. Everything just changed for me. What changed? Everything. It's so powerful. Like, let's get in there. Let's play. Let's move. So it's a practical experience. And the challenge, of course, is how do you communicate that to people who don't know that yet? And the answer is give them a taster. Let's play it so you can all find out. So today we're going to play with voice. Now, the voice is a huge subject. So we're not going to cover everything, but I want to give you a powerful taster of what does the voice mean. There is the instrument, the voice, and there is your voice, your uniqueness, your personality, your flavor of your stuff. In my world, they belong together. I am fortunate that I have training on both of those fronts. Bob, I need you to mute yourself, please, so we don't get the gym stuff in the background. Thank you so much. When I was younger, and I'm still young and fresh, as my great aunt would have said, darling, you're a chicken. But when I was really young, a child, I had what was called a dysfunctional voice. So I had only around 5 notes to my range, but I really, really wanted to sing. But I was told I can't, and I really couldn't. I sounded like a rusty water tap. And the desire to be a singer did not leave me alone. I had all this music inside me. So my personal journey has been one of healing my voice over a decade of extremely dedicated work that has taken me around the world. I literally, I packed my bags at, well, first I went and studied musical theater, but then I packed my bags and went to New York City and to Thailand to find my way. And I went on a huge spiritual quest to open and heal my voice. It includes shamanic journeys, it includes esoteric studies and experiences, and it includes functional voice training and all sorts of weird things where people wanted to give me electric shocks into my throat, all sorts of things. Fast forward 10 years of very dedicated, very well, I guess very strange and individual work. I managed to heal this voice into a 3-octave range voice of a very happy singer's larynx, as confirmed by a clinician in London who looks at all the Broadway people. And on the way of this journey, I was gifted the ability to hear what's going on for other people in their voice. And so for me, it's a passionate subject, and it's a very delicate subject that I can dive into on a very, very deep level if you wish. To get started and to get playing, I want to give you an experience of what it means to play with different voice qualities. Let's all start with making some sounds. And you're all on mute, so don't worry, nobody will hear you. We're going to just start with a simple O sound and feel it in your body and see what it sounds like. I'll demonstrate like this. O. Try it for yourself. Give yourself an O. O. And Bob, this will be fun in the gym. Okay. There we go. Recording now. There we go. I hope this is working. If not, let me just go and do a little record to the cloud.
This meeting is being recorded.
I love this voice, don't you? Recording in progress. Okay, let's go into this meditation idea, and we're going to do an Om, which means open yourself up, open your mouth, open all your 150,000 chakras, those that you know about and those that you don't, and let's let the sound O travel through you, see what that does. I will demonstrate again and follow at any time because nobody hears you. You can do what you want. Oh. See what that does. Beautiful. And now we're going to do version 3 is where we're really opening the mouth even more. So we can even do the meditation Aum, start with an Ow and then go into O, see what that does. Nice. Okay. Now, yes, and if a yawn comes in, you get bonus points. Well done. So when a yawn comes in at any point, honestly, celebrate yourself and receive that. That's a gift from God. Yes. So in singing, in voice work, we celebrate the yawn. It means you're relaxing, your nervous system is resetting, your body's taking on oxygen, taking it in, and setting to a new level. So congratulations. Beautiful. Okay. We're now going to take our arms, and whilst we do the O, we're going to stretch them out like so, with beautiful, like you're pushing the walls away with your O, okay, like this. O. And remember to open your mouth. That's it. Good. Yeah, feel free to do the second time if you have space. There you go. Your ones are welcome. That was good. I love that Bob is doing that in the gym. I love this. Freedom. That's it. Okay. Let's check in quickly and get some experiences of what happened. What did you notice? Who wants to share first? Yes, Rita, you're on the way. Holly, what did you notice?
Body's opening up, chest is opening up, the lungs are expanding.
Hmm. And what does that mean for your voice?
Gets out of the head and into the body, into the using your diaphragm. So there's more power, more
Mhm.
projection, there's more vitality.
Yes. And why, like a question that I love to ask myself and also people I work with is who cares? Like what's that good for?
Well, if I'm in a vessel, I'm not doing it in a kayak. I'm gonna do it in the Titanic. Well, I don't want that Titanic, but if I wanted to land, if I want to invite and entice my audience, the way I vessel will determine that success.
Correct. And so we're just using one sound right now. Did you notice how the sound was really progressing and opening up? Did everybody get that experience? Okay. Because we just spent a few minutes doing one sound and really opening that one up. The difference it makes in your voice from having this small restricted default setting of a voice to having a big, what I call resonant voice, where there's actually less effort but more sound. The difference that makes to other people is that they are able to receive you so much more because there is more transmission. Voice transmits your energy. I'm going to say that again. It's really important. It's the voice that transmits your energy. It doesn't matter how pretty you are. It's your voice that transmits your message. You can have great words. You can be super intelligent, but if your voice is annoying and restricted, nobody's going to listen, right? It's I want to have an example sentence. What's an example sentence? Oh, uh, Martin Luther King. I have a dream. 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 Doesn't do much. I have a dream does a lot. We're listening. It's your voice that creates the impact. So when your voice is open and resonant, you can really land your messages. It's so basic when you hear it, but try doing it. And this is where I get frustrated with people that don't know that and are ignorant about this stuff. Like if you're doing a TED talk, you're going to be putting so much work in a beautiful TED talk. If you're speaking it with a raspy voice and only half of your potential and it kind of stuck here. I had an idea back in my youth. I had this experience. It took me into the forest and I realized I'm alone in this world. But then after the trauma I did this and then I did this. Nobody, you see? It's the difference between inspiring and boring is in the quality of your voice. I could be speaking rubbish. Maybe I am, but the quality of the voice makes the difference. Do you see? So this is an important subject, and sometimes I just want to rattle people. I see really great speakers who've never trained their voice, and they're leaving so much potential at the door. They could be so much more impactful if only they opened up their voice. Now, we can say your voice is often in alignment with who you are, but I actually see that your voice gets stuck in some developmental parts of where you were once. You can develop your personality further, and your voice is still holding on to the past. I see that a lot. And so that's why I'm like, come on, let's free this up. Let's catch this up. Okay? So, who wants to play some more? You want to play some more? Okay, great. Let's play with a word. So where it gets challenging is that sounds are wonderful, but when we speak, these sounds, they're interrupted by consonants, right? So that they form meaning and they form words. It's really annoying because my beautiful and now suddenly I'm like, ow, hello, it doesn't last forever. I have to say other things. So let's say some words and see how we can bring resonance into them. Why don't we say welcome? Welcome and Yes, let's say welcome to, what are we welcoming people to today? Welcome to my webinar. Why don't we say that? Welcome to my webinar. Feel free to say it for yourself. Welcome to my webinar. All right, let's hear some people. Actually, Lorna, can you unmute yourself? Let's hear you.
Welcome to my webinar.
Beautiful. Eric?
Welcome to my webinar.
Nice. Holly?
Welcome to my webinar.
Haha. Take that, people. Bob, can you speak?
Welcome to my webinar.
Nice. And Rita?
Welcome to my webinar.
Beautiful. Okay. If you mute yourself again, what we're going to do is we're going to take our tongue and give ourselves a really juicy French kiss 10 times round by keeping our mouth closed like this. Go 10 times round one way, and then we'll go 10 times round the other way. I love your enthusiasm. We've already started. I'm going to catch up. 4, other way. Relax. Woo! It's quite something, right? Stretch the tongue like this and breathe. Beautiful. That's also good. If you do those exercises on a bus, you'll always get a space. Or people know you've trained with me, then they're like, move over, let's talk. Option 2, both are good. Okay, let's do it again a bit faster. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. Now tell your tongue, tell your brain that you can relax whilst doing that and go the other way. 1, 10. Was that easier? It was, right? Stretch the tongue out again. Okay, darling. That was okay, darling, to my son who just interrupted me. Okay, beautiful. Now let's say the sentence again. Rita, unmute and give me a welcome to my webinar.
Welcome to my webinar.
Beautiful. Lorna.
Welcome to my webinar.
Beautiful. Bob. Oh, he's muted. I think you unmuted before. Try again unmuting yourself.
Welcome to my webinar.
Beautiful. That was very radio. I loved it. Holly?
Welcome to my webinar.
Nice. Eric?
Welcome to my webinar.
Marvelous. Welcome to my webinar. Gorgeous. What did you notice? If you noticed anything at all, did you notice a difference? If so, what was it? If you didn't, then our sentence hasn't been long enough. It's fine.
I tended to notice that the difference in other people rather than myself. I felt I noticed the difference in the others rather than my own.
And yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. And what difference are you noticing?
I noticed, like Rita, I felt it was softer, but it was more powerful. And I would say that probably about everybody. It's a little bit softer, but it had more punch, if you like.
So less efforting, more resonance. Cool. Anybody notice the difference in Holly specifically? Holly, did you notice the difference in Holly?
A lower octave. I don't know if that's the right word. That's where I want to focus, because I can listen to people when they talk high. I don't like it. It's not, for whatever reason, we always relate to the deeper voice because everybody's into the patriarchy and the masculinity and the masculine. So, and I'm guilty of that. So when I hear somebody high pitched, I check out. It's annoying. Reminds me of my mother. So when it's more lower, it's more calm, it's more authority, and then I'm listening. So I want to do that. But when I'm really passionate, I rise, because that's my true self. I'm like, and then this happened. You wouldn't believe what happened next. It's like, no, you can still have the same effect. Stop the going high, stay low.
I'm going to totally disagree with you.
That's a story in my head. So, we all have one. Welcome.
We all have at least one or more movies in our head. Okay, so and I'd love to speak to that in a minute. But right now, you noticed your difference was you were able to be more low and more in that spectrum that you like.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Here's what I noticed. So yes, you were softer. Was it easier to speak by any chance?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, was the same for you, Rita? Okay. We need longer. No, tell me what was it like for you?
No, it was not easier. I actually found it like I was still in my mouth.
Oh, you was in the mouth. Okay.
So, yeah.
Fair enough. Yes, because we're working that, so that's fine. When we have a longer sentence, you will see a really huge difference. So we need to make sure we do a sentence, not just a short one, in a moment. What I want you to see is that when we work the instrument, it can become, or usually it does become easier to speak, which means there's less of our default gripping patterns and more room for sound. The difference was hugely palpable in Holly. When I listened to Holly's voice, may I be frank and honest and give you feedback on your voice, Holly? Okay. There's a lot of grating in the voice. And so when there's grating in the voice, that means there's tension in the voice, less resonance. Once she did the tongue exercise, that disappeared, and suddenly there was volume and resonance. So I was happy to see that move that quickly. Because the difference between somebody who speaks with a grate and like this, a bit like that, and tries to get the voice down because they think that's more powerful to be down, it just gets really messy really quickly. But as soon as we open it up, we're in the realm of, oh, I can listen to you now, I can receive you. So that's where I want to go. To speak a bit to this high and low thing, there is an interesting, when we're excited, our voices are activated, we go high. With women, it can go into a hysterical high. Oh my God, what and we can go into these intense patterns. They're usually intense and shrill, not because our voices are free, but because we also don't dare to really express freely and loudly because we've been hushed from an early time. You're meant to be seen, not heard. You're meant to be palatable. You're meant to be pleasing. You're meant to be a little bit down and stay in your number 2 position. So women's voices are repressed from a very young age. Boys' voices, men's voices too, but your voice changes, so the whole game changes over time. As men's voices drop, they get this authoritative, kind of calming, low resonance. They don't have to worry about this stuff in the same way. Yeah? Only in puberty, then they really get it. In puberty, you really get it. So with woman's voice that isn't trained, when it goes up, it gets shrill, it gets shrieky, it gets very uncomfortable. However, it can get loud, it can be effective in mothering, like, but right? So we don't want that from an authoritative figure to learn. Hence, I completely understand the low voice, the soothing, the I've got this under control. That's what we're in for. Maybe because men have low voices. I don't know that I want to agree on that one. I think a woman's lower range is hugely powerful, not because men have low voices, but because a woman in her full embodied gravitas is also just beautiful and powerful, and very earthy. Now, her upper range is hugely important. Here's the thing. The kookaburra, it's a bird, it's pretty extinct. You know how they mate? Every 5 years they get horny and they're in the mood for mating. So the male makes a low sound, like brr, brr, like a bass sound, brr, and the woman gets like, oh my God, the best thing I've heard. I want it and I want it now. And she goes in a desperate search of finding where this beautiful sound came from that got her so juicy. Right? She's ready to get it. All she needs to do is find the man who makes that sound. He's hiding somewhere, just make that sound. The problem with a low sound is we cannot locate it. So often the female just walks around trying to find that male. She doesn't find him in time. Mood's over. They have to wait another 5 years till they can make a baby, which is why that bird's pretty dead. So all that to say that low sounds, as beautiful as they are not easy to locate. So a high sound is easier to hear. It pierces through everything and we know where it came from. It's incredibly useful. It has a different power. So I want to encourage you to embrace that power of that and if we get the training to connect that to the body, it becomes powerful, right? Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it is annoying, but you wouldn't believe what happened. Boom, cuts right through. That's in your face, and that's important. A woman who doesn't dare to get in your face is missing out on her power. Most men can't do that because they don't have that range. You see? So there's really something here. Does that make sense, Holly?
Yep.
So for
It
me,
does.
the big argument is on resonance, on open voice, on connected to body voice. Did you see that? Wow. I say no to that. And I say yes to this. Having said that, why wouldn't I? And why wouldn't you? And why wouldn't we all? In fact, melody. So I'm giving you melody right now.
Yeah,
I
like
think
that.
melody is actually exciting. And so where I see women especially, and men as well, actually, where you're cutting off your power is when you stop the melody and you go to, I am professional. Professional for a long time has meant contained. Do not show emotions, do not show who you are, and only be focused on the mission, the message, the brand. I am now a representative of company X. Therefore, I will only transmit that piece. It was all about boxing yourself in to be a certain way, the right way, the company way.
Military, militant.
I guess so, in a way, right? And to certain degrees, but it's not, being professional is not about free expression. It's not expressed, it's on target. So times are changing. Times are changing big time. We are moving or have moved from a hierarchical professional structure into a more collaborative environment where what we're looking for are leaders who are relatable, leaders who we want to follow, who are inspirational, who are motivational, no longer just the authority telling you what to do. In fact, we leave companies like that, or people leave companies like that. So what that means vocally is we have to learn to communicate in a way that people like to listen to. So gone is the do not express yourself, and welcome, please, can you express yourself? Can you be real? Can you show me who you are? Can we be friends? Can we see eye to eye? And that will be in the tone of your voice. So no longer monotone. We need to deliver 500,000% growth this year in the second quarter, blah, 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 blah. But much more, we need to grow. We're looking for 500% of growth in the next quarter. It will be exciting because everybody will be involved. But da-da-dee-da-da-da, da-da. We need melody, we need aliveness. Otherwise, we fall asleep and we die a death inside. So melody is back, which means you do need your high voice and you need your low voice and you need everything in between. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the sermon. Let's go back to playing. I would like to hear a sentence or two about who you are and what you do, and then we'll play with that with your voice and see how we can express it differently. Yeah? Who's got a sentence or two about who they are and what they do, or what's important to them?
I did my thing.
Perfect. Holly.
I've got my first couple of sentences of my TED Talk.
I was hoping for that.
Might I edit your assignment?
Edit my assignment? No, this is it. This is perfect. Yes, yes. I was.
Okay.
Yeah. Do that.
So this is my start off. For as long as I can remember, self-confidence has been my co-pilot. And for all those wild stunts I pulled off, one might say I had uncaged confidence.
Amazing.
So
How did you
start? Yeah. So I'm starting off there, and that's my premise: how to uncage the confidence within. Running a women's empowerment company, that's what they all lack is confidence. They've had multiple exits. They live in different continents, have different countries, but they all have a low confidence. So I'm coming in to talk about how to uncage that confidence within each and every one of us. So I have to make that assertion that this is where I come from. And where did it somehow go off the cliff? Let's talk about that.
Perfect. Perfect. I love it.
But I want that for as long, and I want to go right into literally, I have said this my entire life. They're like, Holly, where do you get your confidence? Like, where do you get that? People would ask me that, little kids, high school, college, whatever, just throughout my life. And I'm like, for as long as I can remember, self-confidence has been my co-pilot. And oh, by the way, I was a military brat. So I was on different continents. I lived in different countries, different states. Like you just have to adapt and assimilate and launch in fast order, or you're gonna miss the fun. And that's why I'm on the planet. So let's play.
I love that passion. Look at that passion. One moment, we've got my executive assistant here. Yes, Teddy. Yes, Tuffle. No, tell me what you need.
Mum's allowed to watch
Yes.
tonight and play with it.
With Oscar. Yeah, you go and play with Oscar.
Okay, can you just scream?
No, I will not do that now. I am on my call. I know that.
How can I play?
I don't know. You figure that out. Or do something else. But don't interrupt my call. We had an agreement on this, darling. Thank you. Love you.
Yeah, watch something.
If you can, you can. All right. Love it. Always tough. Oh, bless him. So, I love your topic. I love your passion. Now, let's play with your voice, shall we?
Yes.
Oh, did you have a question?
No, I
interrupted you.
No. I was like, so I just got it all approved by TEDx. So now I have the next, I'm going on a walkabout. I'm going to hike the fjords for 3 weeks. So I'm going to get it locked into this brain, which I'm not looking forward to. Because I got a story that says I have minnow memory, but we'll talk about that another time. Menopause memory. And there's no teleprompter, there's nothing. So we just get to commit this to memory, which is fine. So my question to you is, I want to start in a very contemplative, I want to go back, spanning over, the bulk of my life. For as long as I can remember, I'm scanning every school play, going to the White House, being a co-anchor, like everything that I have been blessed with doing, it's because I had confidence. Because I never had a voice that said, why you? You can't do this. Who the fuck are you to go be an anchor at Sky News? Like, so there was never a voice saying no. And so I want to scan in, though, that for as long as I can remember, like I'm trying to take you in my journey. Like, think about for as long as I can remember, confidence has been my co-pilot. And I want that statement to be slow, and I want it to be intentional. And be thinking about, well, what would confidence be, and what would my life look like if I had confidence as my co-pilot?
Yep.
Like, we're not landing this plane and we're not taking off unless co-pilot confidence is in the house, it's in the cockpit. Let's go.
What you're doing right now is really beautiful. Holly is creating what I call a back text. So when you're creating your speech, whatever you're saying, you have your message, you also have a back text, which is, what is it that I'm actually trying to say here? Because you have a sentence like, for as long as I can remember, confidence has been my co-pilot. That's the sentence. But what does it actually say? It says, oh my God, I've done theater plays, I've been a news anchor, I've done this, I've done that, I've been going through the fjords, I've been having this, I've done this, and I cannot find a voice that doesn't say no. Like all these things that she's just downloaded on us are her back text, are what's in the background, are her why she's saying this one sentence. And when you have a big, strong back text, you have a reason to say the sentence that you're saying, and then it becomes much more powerful versus speaker mode that I have. I get to work with very high-level leaders on their speeches, and they're being given a speech, and it says, we have in the last year delivered 200% growth on this product. If you just read it like this, it means nothing because there's nothing behind it. If the leader understands that what they're actually saying is, our hard work has paid off. I've seen you sweating. I've seen you crying. I've been sweating. I've been crying. We've gone through 5 crises. We thought we were going to lose our department 3 times, and we've had to lay off people. And here we are, and we actually did it, guys. If you have that in mind, and then say, in the last year, we've delivered 500% growth, like it'll come out differently, you see? Suddenly, your words have meaning. Your voice has meaning. Your voice is pregnant with meaning, is rich with meaning. That's what we need. So we need a big reason. Why are you saying what you're saying?
Mhm.
And that's called the backtext. So that's what we just got from you, Holly. Now we can play with that. We can play with that like an actor. We can say, for as long as I can remember. We can go, for as long as I can remember. For as long as I can remember. Like we can go in all the different iterations, right? To see where it actually sits. But the big thing here is, first of all, you need to know what you want to say. Now, I know what you want to say. I want to hear a couple of iterations. They could be rubbish now because we're practicing. We're not performing. Feel free to be rubbish and try a couple of ways of saying the same thing. Just that first sentence. Let's play.
For as long as I can remember, self-confidence has been my co-pilot.
Beautiful.
And for all those wild ass stunts, one might say I had uncaged confidence. See, that's that going up, and now you lost me. And I can already critique and judge myself.
Okay, well done. But that's not your job. That's my job today.
Oh, to be in the head of Holly. Oh, welcome to the self-critic. Hello, that's my co-pilot.
Yeah. So that was good. That was version 1. Let's have another version.
Yeah. God, for as long as I can remember, self-confidence has been my co-pilot. And for all those wild stunts that I pulled off, one might say I had uncaged confidence.
Beautiful. And version 3?
For as long as I can remember, self-confidence has been my co-pilot. And for all those wild stunts that I got away with, one might say I had uncaged confidence.
Beautiful. Okay, those are 3 versions. Where do you feel your power?
My power is the default, the one that I started off with. And so I wanted, and my thinking was if I could start a little bit more, not melancholy, but more intellectual. And then I go into some of the wild stunts. Now I get it in fun, and I'm trying to invite them to go back into their memory bank and walk with me.
Okay,
And
so do that again for me.
I'm sorry.
Do that again for me then. Try that again. That style.
Oh, okay. For as long as I can remember, self-confidence has been my co-pilot. And for all those wild ass stunts I pulled off, one might say I had uncaged confidence. The other thing that I want to do is I want to slow down because I'm a fast talker, and I want to make sure that I am articulating the key words because I'll lose my audience. And they're like, what did she say? Oh my God, big wild ass stunts, uncaged confidence. And I lost you because I wasn't articulate and I didn't slow down. Donna wants me to slow the fucking roll. Slow your roll.
Yes. There's slow, but there's also too slow. So slow is good, but not too slow. So there's a lot in here. Right now, what we're getting, so I love the way you're playing. You're doing a really good job with that. We're now seeing you work the way you think you speak most powerfully. And so you're teaching yourself how to act. And it's beautiful. It is, in my world, step 1. And where we want to go is beyond that, where we forget that you're acting and you're becoming real.
Yeah.
It's after the acting, though. So most people want to go from where they are to just let me be real. And then it goes a little bit underactivated, like for as long as I can remember, confidence has been my stage pilot. Like it's because it's not like it's a speech. It is big. When we want to go big, we suddenly go into speech mode. For as long as I can remember, confidence has been my co-pilot. And all those wild things and then suddenly I'm off and I'm doing Shakespeare. All those wild things I did. I was glorious, wasn't I? We go to the thing and it's super fun, but we're losing them. Yeah. It's like, so after that is like, so where am I being real and raw and vulnerable, but yet keeping that activation? That's the work that we're doing. Because this is just a taster and I don't want to overwhelm, but I want to give you something really valuable. The main piece for you is opening your voice. What I mean by that is where you're grating, you're closed. Do you know where you're grating? Does that make sense to you when I say that?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I know what it means, but no, I don't.
Okay. It's when your voice goes like that.
No, I
Yeah.
know what grading means. I thought you said, do I know where I'm grading in that?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
you will hear that only when you record yourself and play yourself back. And then you'll develop a feeling of where that is. Or when you work with someone, I'm like, you are just narrowing. So the way you widen your voice, this is interesting, everyone. We're going to play with that. I'm going to give you a grating sound, and then I'm going to out into resonant sound and back into a grating sound, because we all do the grating at some point or another, usually at the end of a sentence, like that,
Yeah.
And some people
Yep.
more than others, and then once you're grating stuff, and then you start stretching a bit more. See how my throat is now getting tense about it and stuff, and then more tired I am, more like I'm pressing, and now my voice is like that, and you think like, wah, 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 wah. Okay, one moment, reset. Versus the open voice has your folds like just stretched wide here. I'll show you how. Feel free to do an ah sound. Grate it, just pinch it narrow, and then widen it again. Yeah. Let's get Lorna. Can I hear you? Yes. Perfect. I'm doing this so you get an awareness of that muscle function. Holly, do you want to give it a go? Oh, Holly's practicing the speech. I want to hear your ah.
Yeah, I can. I heard it. I have a little small heater, which is blowing my heat. Oh, I can totally hear that. For as long as I can remember, self-confidence has been my co-pilot. Oh my God.
Always hydrate as well. Have
Woo!
water. Yes, water. So, can you do it?
Oh.
Yeah. Good. So you see a bit more air helps you widen, but then there's also muscle that goes to the side. Yeah. Rita, can we hear you?
Practicing like crazy here.
Yeah.
It's really.
That's the one. It's interesting, isn't it? You're like, oh, that's how I do it. I didn't know. When you practice this, stay on the same pitch. So I'm not going down and up in melody. I'm staying. Yeah. Eric, do you want to give us an example, a sound bite? Your sound cuts off quickly. So that happens on Zoom. The noise filter kicks in. It's like, that wasn't a sound, that was noise. I want to take that out. Means you did it right. Can you feel the muscle that's moving?
I can definitely feel it. But I also know like I've been struggling with some throat issues, so it feels like even at my most open, it feels like it's still grating.
What kind of throat issues have you been struggling with?
That's a great question. Doctors figure it out. So
So have you had a laryngoscopy?
I have not had that just yet. I was trying to get all that figured out before I moved and couldn't get it figured out in time. So I'm gonna have to figure that out once I'm a little bit more settled here.
But your voice does sound nice. I don't hear a major issue, but you will feel something. I mean, is it a feeling?
It's very tense and sore and dry. And even when we were doing the O's, I could feel this sort of like popping and staticking sort of sensation in the back of my throat.
Interesting. Okay, I think a laryngoscopy is the best way forward there, where they just, you know what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
They shove the camera down your throat. Deeply unpleasant, but very informative.
Or you can do it yourself.
What, a laryngoscopy?
No, my best friend's husband is a physician, and he went in there and did it, and he found a tumor in there by using the camera in his phone.
Oh, well, then it would be quite on the top because you can't shove your phone that far down as the larynx.
Well, yeah, no, that's a true statement, but yeah, it would be I don't think that would qualify as a laryngoscopy. But
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, of course, you can look at your throat, but maybe have it checked out. Nodules are not uncommon, things like that. It might be just simple. In the meantime, doing gentle sounds and drinking warm water will be a really nice thing for you. And feeling into the body. No, not everything is answered by, I mean, even if you know there is something there, we need to treat it. And gentle sound vibrations are extremely healing. So I would recommend you make some weird sounds at home and see what your voice wants from you. And where does it feel good? Okay, this doesn't feel good. Where does it feel good? Is there a sound that does feel good? Do some of those and see if you can be guided in that. Yeah, as a tip. To get Bob, do you want to give us an example of your So when you go into the graty sound, come back out. So there you go. That's it. And then zoom comes out. Perfect. So you're getting to know that muscle that tenses, but also then opens back up your throat. That's the point of this, right? Nobody wants the grating sound, but because we all do it when we're underactivated, we want to know how to activate again. Yeah, how to keep that open. That's really, really important. Okay, so we've played with very technical things right now, how to open your voice, how to give you an experience, how to get some resonance in your body so that you can see the differences you can make with your sound. The real work is from the inside out, as we said with Holly, because even if I know the technicality of how I need to make my voice open, that doesn't mean I'm yet connected to the message 100%, right? For as long as I can remember, confidence has been my co-pilot. Like, what is a co-pilot? What does that mean? How is confidence a co-pilot? You need to have that whole picture very clear in your mind so that you can transmit it. Slow down and give me the picture rather than the words. Do you understand what I mean by that? Yeah, give me the picture, give me the film, give me the film. When you speak to your best friend about something that happened, and then he said, and then he did, and then, in my and then, there was no words, but you got a story, right? Because there was a story in my mind and it came through my face and my, the words were just and then. So the story needs to be in our head first for us to transmute with our voice what we're actually saying. Okay? And this is the play that we're doing. This is how we work a message into your body and into your voice. And you can see the difference that makes when somebody really speaks. That's called embodied. It's also inspirited with that fullness. Right? And so what's the difference that will make in your speaking when you do that? That was the question. What difference will it make when you do that, Eric? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it becomes more real. Like when I hear somebody say something that it's just I can tell they like believe into their core and all that kind of stuff. It's just like it sucks me in, it draws me in. What message that might be.
Yeah. So it becomes quite irresistible, really, isn't it? If somebody is so in what they're saying, it's very hard to look away. And on the contrary, it's very easy to look away when somebody's only half in what they're saying or they're giving us speech mode. Last year, I encountered a difficult situation. I walked through the forest and I was attacked by a bear. However, I survived. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. It's really that. Can I get so present in my words and in my voice that we cannot stop but? stop. But we cannot help ourselves but stop and listen. That's the work. That's what we're doing. So this was a little taster of what we can do with our voices. I hope that was super useful for you. I love when I start these sessions, and I hate that the hour always flies by so quickly. Let me get a quick feedback from you. Did you get what you wanted? Was there something else? What are you taking away with? And then we shall say goodbye for now. Bob, let's start with you.
I learned something. I learned more about how to use the voice. I work with Democratic politicians here in the U.S. how to create and communicate messages about who they are, what they stand for, what they believe in. And using their voice is really important. I also find a lot of times it's situational. You use Martin Luther King as an example. When he said I had a dream speech, he was using a different voice than he would do. He was speaking to his wife or his children. So it is situational to some degree.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you. Perfect. Eric, what are you taking away?
I'm taking away just the power of like the tongue, to be honest. Like the first time I went on my mouth 10 times, I was just like, my jaw hurts, my tongue hurts, my throat hurts. And then just simple like, oh, I can sort of just relax while I'm doing it. And the second time I said the welcome to my webinar, for me felt a lot more relaxed, a little bit more authentic, a little smoother versus kind of just forced. And so having just simple sort of exercises that I can do just from the start will help whenever I'm making videos or speaking to clients, potentially tense or not fully in my body.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And actually, now that you've spoken more than 2 sentences in a row, I can also see things that are happening in your body and what's happening. But with you, we need to start with your breathing. Your breathing is really restricted. So you've discovered that your tongue muscle holds tension, and undoing that tension is already having an effect, which is brilliant. And your breathing is restricted, which means somewhere, like how are you going to compensate for the lack of energy from the lack of breathing? Is at the moment you're using more muscle power, and of course that's creating tension.
Yeah. I
So,
think
so your exercise will be to practice deep breathing. There's plenty of exercises out that you can do. Come back, and we've got a lot here for you.
Yeah. Some of that might be the throat issue. Some of that might be my posture in the chair that I'm sitting in, but there's probably definitely some exercises that I can do to compensate and make up for those.
Yeah, the breathing is the first foundation.
Yeah.
Chairs don't stop you breathing. I think I love a good chair, but I think it's a bit deeper than that.
True.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for playing. Lorna, what about you? What are you taking away from today?
Thank you so much. What am I taking away from today? Well, I wasn't entirely sure why I was here, but I clicked on pretty quickly, and sort of voicing what Eric just said about I've got some more fun exercises there to play with. Because I'm still trying to articulate a message, to be honest, for various things. And the main thing is like, I need Evelyn in my life. So I felt it was just like, oh God, I need you in my life.
I love that.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I'm really curious because I've heard this before, but what does that mean? I need Evelyn in my life. Like, what is that, Evelyn?
Yeah. Well, because I felt that when I saw you in Synergy, I was like, how do I get this woman into my life? For this, for what we've done today, I feel I need more. That's basically it. I feel I need more. I work better in teamwork. I do better in teamwork. Together we're better. And when I've joined a choir here. I help my voice there with but to be honest with you, my tutor there, he was never present with me when we do the one-to-one. And he's honest. I said, if you came to me for a massage, how would you feel if I sat on my mobile phone? Really? So I sing in the choir, but I don't go for one-to-ones anymore. And I keep saying I know my mission is with my voice.
Okay.
I know that's true. but I've been hiding away and getting comfortable in these little, not coming into the world. And I had a book published in 2020, and I know that's my thing, if you like.
Okay.
And I know I have to talk about it, and I've been told this is a book for humanity, and you need to get out there and TED talk or whatever. I don't know, but I'm like, oh shit, I've been hanging back too often. I've just hit 60. I've been through my second Saturn return. Yet I've always hated my voice through what you mentioned there. You know, that child being told to shut up. You're too much, Lorna. You know, be quiet. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I was on the stage singing when I was 5. I pulled back my partner that was singing. I said, "You need to bow to the audience," and the whole audience started laughing. But I can't remember if I enjoyed making them laugh, enjoyed them hearing me sing, or did I take it personally and just retreat? Because at the age of 14, I went like that and I walked off the stage.
Okay.
To my own detriment. And I understand that's what I had to do to come into this place of healing the family lineage of the alcoholism and blah, blah, blah. There's a whole story there. It's in the book, but I'm about to get into my second book, and somebody's saying, you need to talk about your second book. I'm like, I haven't even talked about the first one. And I know I've had a YouTube channel set up since 2016. Sorry, I'm going on now. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we need to do this, yes?
Yeah. I would hope so, yes. I would hope so, yeah.
So what's your next step?
What's my next step? I have no idea. I just get up, show up, and see what happens, and I trust that I will be guided. And I was certainly guided with your talk on synergy, and then I signed up for your newsletter. I looked at your website, and I was like, I definitely need Evelyn in my life. Please make it happen. And then when this flagged up, yes, I jumped on. So I have no idea what the next step is, to be honest. But I would love it. I would love to work with you.
Hey, and my dear Holly, what are you taking away from today?
I probably the mechanical side of, I've worked so hard on writing this and the messaging, and with Donna, the vulnerability, I have to go in really, really deep and be vulnerable. And when we're vulnerable, you talk about talent, to be the ability to be yourself when others are watching, which I can do when I'm talking about my clients. I'm in front of large audiences every week, and I am very, very vulnerable because I'm talking about them.
Yeah.
And then this speech, I'm talking about me. It's a TED Talk, and then this is gonna close up, right? The throat chakra is gonna go. So that means I want to get out of my body and into my story. I really want, and Donna says, you got to be anchored in that stage. Do not give it out there. Stay right here. Anchor that energy right here. So anyway, just the mechanics and all of that stuff that you kind of coached us through. It's like, if I'm going to go do a long run, I'm not just going out the door and running. I'm going to do some stretches. I'm going to pull the leg up. I'm going to do some, so that I can really enjoy my long run. Same premise. So I like that as something that I'm going to do behind stage before I go on. I think I'm number 1, which I pray to God, so I don't have to future trip. So that's going to be really helpful. And then I know that I had the raspy voice, especially when I just wake up like I did this morning. But my coach in theater and drama in college, she's like, you'll never, ever have a career in acting. Not with that voice. That is horrible. Get out of my class. And I was like, oh, okay, well, watch me. That's all you needed to tell me. Enneagram 8, the challenger, I'm on it. So anyway, and then somebody else said you have a great voice. So, depends on who's asking. Everybody's got an opinion. Just make sure that you use it and you channel it, and it's authentic. And everybody's going to be able to relate to that, whether it's perfect or not. So anyway, that's my takeaway from our hour. And it's been awesome. Beautiful. Thank you. Way more heightened awareness about it as a muscle, as an instrument, as a vessel, as you called it. Way more.
Beautiful. Good. I am so glad you're taking all that away. With the TED Talk, there's a lot more that I'd love to do with you. So maybe we'll chat another time about that. Okay. But don't leave it to when the TED Talk is to stretch your voice, right? That's the same thing with a marathon. You do a lot of practicing beforehand, a lot of coaching to get yourself ready. And then when you do the marathon, you also stretch just before, but know what you're doing. But number one is the message. So you're doing the right order. You're writing your speech first, and then we practice the performing.
Yep.
So get that speech in your head, but after that, it'll be amazing. If I can support you with that, I think it'll make a great difference.
Lovely. Thank you.
And it will be fun. So thank you so much for playing. Feel free to come again next month. The Impact Amplifier is now open for those of you who are curious about it or want to come join us in September. Have a wonderful day. Feel free to tell your friends about this. I love to grow the community. This is a joy and a pleasure. Thank you, and goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.